All right, welcome back to part 6 of the First Time Homebuyer Survival Series. My name is Steve Lopresti. I'm a real estate agent here in Hamilton, Ontario. We're doing one of these videos every single day for the rest of the year to help you prepare to buy your first home in 2026. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so that you don't miss an episode. And if you want the PDF version of the First Time Homebuyer Survival Guide, it's down in the description along with my contact info. If you have any questions, you can always reach out. All right, today we are diving into the first home savings account. The FHSA is one of the most powerful ways to speed up your down payment savings. Like I promised yesterday, this video will break it down in detail because this account can literally save you thousands of dollars and shave years off of your home buying timeline. All right, so what is the FHSA? It's basically a combination of the TFSA and the RRSP. So like a TFSA, your investments will grow completely tax-free. That means if you put in $10,000 and it grows to say $20,000, you don't pay any capital gains on that $10,000 increase like you would normally with any other type of investment. And now in an RRSP, your contributions are tax deductible. So if you contribute $10,000, the government treats it like you earned $10,000 less for that year, which means you're going to get a tax refund. What the FHSA does, it gives you both benefits at the same time. You get a tax deduction now, and your money gets to grow tax-free. This is basically the government's way of saying, we know that housing is expensive, so here's a cheat code. All right, so how does it actually work? Well, there's a limit of up to $8,000 per year that you can contribute into the FHSA, and you have a lifetime maximum of up to $40,000 that you can contribute. And you can carry any unused room forward. So if you contribute only $5,000 this year, then next year you can contribute $11,000. So you have the $8,000 plus the extra $3,000 that you didn't contribute the previous year. Unlike the TFSA, the FHSA contribution room does not start when you turn 18. It starts the year that you open the account. So the sooner that you open it, the sooner your contribution room starts accumulating. Now, when you do get your tax refund, because you get the tax write-off from the contribution, what you should do is take that money and immediately put it into the FHSA for next year so that you can begin this cycle. And then your money's going to be in this account growing inside of your investments completely tax-free. Now, I know we all love paying taxes. Nobody loves paying taxes more than I do. It's my favorite hobby, but it can really get in the way of your ability to save up the down payment to buy your first home. So using this account properly will make it so much easier. It basically removes all taxes for those savings. All right, so what is the criteria for an FHSA? There's a couple things. First, you need to be 18 or older to do it. You have to be a Canadian resident, and the last one is you have to be a first-time home buyer. Now, you might be thinking, well, yeah, obviously, I'm a first-time home buyer. Like that's obvious. It's the first home savings account, but you want to look at how the CRA defines a first-time home buyer. It might be different from the way you're thinking about it. So you must not have lived in a home that you owned or jointly owned, so you don't have to be the only one on title. If you jointly owned a home with somebody in the year that you open it, or for the 4 years prior. So this doesn't mean you actually purchased a home. Let's say, for example, if you inherited your grandmother's condo in 2021 and you moved into it for a year, then technically the CRA does not consider you a first-time buyer. Even if you got rid of it, you no longer live in it, even though you never actually paid for it, it still counts as a home that you owned and that you lived in. Now, on the flip side, if you inherited it but you never actually lived in it, you just sold it off right away, then you're technically still eligible. You have the account, you've opened it up, you're eligible for it. So how do your withdrawals actually work? So to keep your withdrawals tax-free, you must use the money only to buy a qualifying home. You can't use the money for anything else. You can't use it to pay off your credit card bill. It has to be a qualifying home. So for a home to qualify, it has to be in Canada. It can't be a beach shack in Costa Rica. It has to be located in Canada. You have to intend to live in the property as your primary residence. So it cannot be an investment property. It can't be a flip project. It has to be the home that you are living in. And then you have to have a written agreement to buy or build a qualifying home before October 1st of the year after you withdraw the funds. So let's say right now it's December 3rd, 2025. You withdraw the funds today. You need to have a agreement to purchase a home in place before October 1st of 2026. And then you need to move into the home within 1 year after that. So the key thing here is that you have to actually live in the home. You can't say you're going to live in the home and then not do it. The CRA doesn't like that. If they find out that you weren't actually living in the home, they will tax you on that deduction, and it's going to be a fat bill. There's no real rule for how long you have to live in the home, but a general rule of thumb is to be about a year. So you want to set up your bills, change your ID, have your mail go there, actually make it look like it's your home, because if the CRA audits you and it looks like you weren't living there, then they can retroactively tax you on that money. Now, another tip that you can use to take full advantage of this account is to use it to house hack. So one thing that people do is they'll use their FHSA money to buy a multi-residential unit. So that could be a duplex, triplex, something that has more than one living unit in it. They live in one of the units and then they rent out the other ones. Since they're living at the property, it still counts and it's still a qualifying purchase, but you have other tenants in there that are helping you cover the bills as well. So doing something like that for a couple of years can really skyrocket you to financial freedom, because you're basically just combining your home with your investment. Now, let's say after the year or two that you're living there, you decide you want to move out, you can now rent out your unit that you were living in, and now you have a cash flowing investment property. Another thing that you can do is you can pool your resources with a couple other friends who also qualify for the FHSA. Let's say you have two other friends and you guys want to go in together on a triplex. Let's say the three of you each can qualify for your FHSA, and then you're each just going to live in one of the units separately. You want to make sure if you're going to do something like that, that each individual qualifies separately for it. So just remember, no funny business. You have to actually live in the home. If you use this account the way it's supposed to be used, it can be very powerful, but don't be trying to mess around. You're not going to outsmart the CRA. Okay, so how do you actually set it up? It's very simple. To open the account, you can do it at most banks or online brokerages, same as a TFSA or an RRSP. If you've ever set up one of those, it takes 15 to 30 minutes, something like that. And you just want to make sure that the account allows you to invest the money. It's not just a regular savings account. Now, once the money's actually in the account, you can invest it however you want. You can invest it in ETFs, bonds, whatever. Do your own research on that. Obviously, what you think is a safe investment. You want to make sure that you're not just having it sitting in a high interest savings account. I like to call them low interest savings account, because even though they're technically, you're making interest on it, it still doesn't outpace inflation. So you want to make sure you're actually investing your money in something that will. And just make sure that when you are withdrawing the money, you're doing it when you're actually ready, because it's a one-time withdrawal and you cannot recontribute the money once you've taken it out. So only withdraw when you're actually buying a qualified purchase. So if you're planning to buy a home in the next couple of months, opening an FHSA today and immediately withdrawing that money doesn't really give the account enough time to benefit you. This is more of a longer term strategy, not a short term one. So if you're buying in a couple years and you want to really grow your savings so that you can get that down payment, then it's a great strategy for that. But in the short term, not so much. If you combine a strong credit score, a solid savings plan, like we spoke about in the last couple of videos, and the FHSA benefits, then you can build your down payment much faster. And it's always best to speak to a financial advisor before you do any level of investing or opening an FHSA, just to make sure you know fully what you're getting yourself into and you know what the repercussions are, okay? So thank you so much for watching. This was part 6 of the First Time Home Buyer Survival series. Tomorrow we're moving on to part 7, so stay tuned for that. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. Check out the link in the description if you want the PDF version of the First Time Home Buyer Survival Guide to refer back to. And if you have any questions about anything we spoke about today or just your home buying process in general, you can always reach out to me. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.